All right, welcome into Sports Ball with Palmer. Uh, can we talk playoffs for the Braves? Playoffs? I'll answer that right now. No. So here to recap their series with the White Sox, and then I also want to say I did make a mistake uh, about the Braves' schedule this week. They are not playing the Phillies. They are actually going to be playing the Mets this weekend. It's next weekend that they'll play the Phillies. I got the 2 weekends mixed up. So that's my fault. Uh, so they'll actually play the Mets this weekend, and I'm going to preview that next. But first, only the Braves. Only the Braves would not sweep a absolutely horrible Chicago White Sox team at home in their own ballpark in Atlanta. Royals were able to do that in Kansas City. Swept Chicago right out of town. Braves, they didn't. Now they were able to take the series, or else this. I'm so down, and they won a series, but it's just been that kind of season for the Braves. I'm sitting here. They just won a series tonight against, you know, an MLB team. But the White Sox are just horrible. Like they should have swept. I get a sweep is really hard to do, but again, you were at home. I know they did, so they didn't get it done. I predicted and said that they would sweep Chicago, and they didn't. So with that, we'll get into game one was Monday night, and through two games, a little bit going into Saturday, the Braves gave up 23 runs in two games to the White Sox, and the White Sox had only scored 5 runs total in their series against the Royals. Not good. Not good at all. Spencer Strider on Friday night was just awful. To put it plainly, he was just awful. Only registered 3 innings. I mean, and he pitched into the fourth. 7 earned runs, only two strike. I mean, only had one walk, but yeah, gave up 10 hits. Ever since his Tommy John, I believe it was Tommy John. I know he had surgery. I just can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was Tommy John. Ever since that injury and coming back, he has not been the same. He has not been the same pitcher he was before he got hurt in 2021 and 2022. In 2023, before he got hurt, he is just not the same pitcher, and it's disappointing and frustrating because he had such promise. He was in conversation for Rookie of the Year when he first came up, and just unfortunately, that's what injuries can do to a player and a guy's career. I don't know what else to say. I mean, he's 5-11 this year on the season now, but that and Chicago has been horrible on the road too. They're 19-44 on the road. Great Braves are only 30-31 at home, which I mean I know they've been bad, but like feels like they're usually good at home. You can count on them to play really well at home, and they didn't, and they haven't this year. Strider gave up. I mean, they were down 1-0. You're thinking, okay, whatever. They scored a run, but that fourth inning is what did them in. And then even the sixth, they added three more, and then added two more in the seventh, and added a run in the eighth, and Braves lost 13-9. I mean, they made a little bit of a run at it. They had a four-run sixth of their own. They scored one in the fifth to make it 7-1, and then the White Sox had three in the sixth to make it 10-1. And then they scored four, made it 10-5, but it still felt like, and just with the pitching, they weren't going to be able to come back. And Chicago again added on two in the seventh, one in the eighth. Braves scored four in the eighth, but the damage had long been done. They had 15 hits of their own, but you gave up 19 hits. Tough to win games when you're giving up that many hits. Again, it's a horrible White Sox team that struggles on the road. Not saying they're world beaters in Chicago, but they do play better in Chicago. But again, I just feel defeated, and we're coming off a series win. And the Braves have been playing better. I mean, at this point, they're playing for pride. So that was game one. Although, here we go. Game two. Again, like I said, they gave up 23 runs in the first two games of this series. I mean, they jumped out 2-0, and you're thinking, great, here we go. They're going to get it going. They're going to cruise tonight. And, well, Chicago had another idea. They put up three in the third to take a 3-2 lead. Then the Braves answered in the fourth with two to take a 4-3 lead. And you're just, again, you're thinking, okay, they're going to have the stamina. They're going to be able to get it done. And then in the fifth, they score five. And in the sixth, they score two to take a 10-4 lead. And you're like, and it's just, here we go again. Like, really? Like, I'm not saying Chicago doesn't have, like, Kyle Teal is a rookie. He went to college at Virginia, had a really good college career. He was drafted in the first round. I believe it was 2 years ago. They have Andrew Benintendi. They have a handful of guys that are quality major league players, but they're still, as far as a whole team, they're not good. They're 45-81 for a reason, and they had well over 100 losses last year for a reason. They don't have a lot of quality major league talent. Like, a lot of these guys are, like fourth outfielders, bench guys that are starting that shouldn't be starters. But hey, then in the seventh, the Braves had a 5-run inning. Cut the deficit to what would it be, 10-9? Yeah, 10-9. And it's like, all right, okay. Then in the eighth, they had two to ultimately win the game. And Raisel Iglesias came in for the save, his 20th on the season. And the Braves had you were down 10-4 going into the seventh, and it looked like, again, here we go again. They're going to lose. Give them props. They were resilient. Drake Baldwin, he's in Rookie of the Year conversation on the National League side. Because it's same with NFL. Like, you have just the main MVP, and then like you'll have AFC player, and then you'll have NFC player. So it's the same with baseball. Like you have your main, well, you have but it's actually more broken down. So there's an American League MVP, National League MVP, and then you have AL Cy Young, NL Cy Young, AL Rookie of the Year, NL Rookie of the Year, and then the broad of Silver Slugger, Gold Glove. Those are across. Well, you'd still have National League Gold Glove winners and American League Gold. So it's split between the two leagues. So you don't have like just one guy who wins MVP, just one guy who wins Rookie of the Year. It's split between the two leagues. But Drake Baldwin is in the conversation for National League Rookie of the Year. He absolutely should be. He has been fantastic since he called up. He in Saturday's game, he went 1 for 4, but had 3 RBIs. So he was a big contributor to this win, which, hey, now then they winning that game set themselves up to take the series tonight. And, well, they did so. They won 1-0. I feel like you see that so much in baseball. A team will have a huge offensive output in a game. Even, I mean, technically 2 games in a row. You had 9 runs and 11 runs. And then you'll come back and score 0-1 or like 2 runs the next game. So, hey, it's a win. No, is it, But really, the story out of this game is Hurston Waldrop, the Braves' big time um, pitching prospect, who was drafted, I believe, last year out of Florida. He was shaky to start the season, and then they sent him back down to AAA. But since he's been called up, and really since he got called up, because he was the no, 26 or 27th man uh, for the Braves in the Red Series when they played that Speedway Classic, which the first 2 were in Cincinnati, and then they played the last game uh, at the Speedway in Bristol, which, with it being the rain delay and everything, he was called up because MLB teams were allowing him, and then he was sent right back down. But because of some other injuries or just lack of pitching performance, he's been called back up. And in his third start, so 3 starts since being really fully called back up, he has been fantastic. He had 7 shutout innings, which again you won 1-0, but he had 7 shutout innings. Only gave up 4 hits, had 7 Ks and 1 walk. He has really been a bright. So he's another reason to watch this team. Him, Ronald Acuna. I mean, at least for me, that's really the only reason to watch the Braves right now in this last season. But he was absolutely brilliant tonight, and the Braves needed it. We'll see if Chris Sale, AJ Smith-Shawver, they come back from their injuries here in September. But again, in the last season, you don't want to overuse them. You don't want to potentially risk re-injury and then miss the rest of the season and potentially miss significant time next year. And Spencer Stromberg is out, so yeah, you can kind of pin this season again on injuries and poor performance, just underperformance. Also, again, Michael Harris, I mean, yeah, you look at his season-long stats, he's only batting 257, on base of 277, slugging 427. He had an absolutely brutal first half, but in the second half, he has turned it on. And it's so odd. His rookie year was 22, and he didn't even get called up till in the middle of the season. So, I mean, he just, or towards the middle of the season, and he ended up winning rookie of the year. So he didn't really, for whatever, I mean, I guess he didn't have that first half slump, but last year he slumped in the first half. This year he slumped in the first half. And again, both second halves, last year in the second half, he was one of the best players. The second half, he's again one of the best. So for whatever reason, he doesn't have a good first half. But in the second half, he is a completely different hitter. So if he can find a way to put that together for an entire season, what he does in the second half for an entire season, I mean, that's going to be huge. Uh, so, but the Braves won. They took the series 2 out of 3. And again, um, and then quick look at the standings. They are 16 games back. So, yeah, again, I said playoffs. Hey, they're on a stretch. I mean, they've won 8 out of 2 now. Back on a 2-game winning streak after they had won 5 in a row. Um, Although they'll look to make it official with a win on Friday, as they will be off tomorrow for a 3-game winning streak. But they are 8-2 in their last 10. I haven't looked at beyond that, but they're 8-2. They are actually 2 games back of Miami for third place. So if they can find a way to get into third, I mean, I know the Mets have been slumping, but they're. I mean, I think it would be funny. I just don't completely see it, even though I don't really like the Mets, that they completely collapse and fall out of the playoffs in playoff picture. But so if they can find a way to at least get third place in a lost season and kind of get close to 500. I mean, again, it would take a heck of a run, especially being 58 and 69. So you're 11 games under 500. I mean, even mathematically, it's really not there for them to finish this year 500. But if they can find a way to not have like 95 plus losses, over 100 losses, I'll take that as a sort of success for me in a lost season. But now, looking ahead, they will play the New York Mets for 3 games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, continuing the homestand. Friday night, and they will actually be on Apple TV on Friday night, nationally telecast game. So, hey, if you want to tune in and watch some bad Braves baseball, turn into Apple TV Plus. But Joey Wentz will get the start. He will go up against Nolan McLean, who is a stud out of Oklahoma State. So we'll see. I mean, again, Joey Wentz has been solid since joining the Braves. And then it'll be Eric Fetty on Saturday night against Grant Holmes, Clay Holmes. I can't remember which one is in New York. And then it'll be Spencer Strider on Sunday. So, which you were able to take 2 out of 3 from the Mets last weekend. Or, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the weekend. Well, at least the last time you played them, and it was in New York. So I'm sure the Mets will be looking to return the favor and exact a little bit of revenge and take 2 out of 3 or sweep the Braves in Atlanta. But and it does seem like no matter what, the anytime the Mets and Braves get together, it's always an entertaining series. So no matter who ends up winning, and obviously there's been sweeps, but I mean, they usually play an entertaining series, so I would expect nothing less. I even going off and again being down, I will take the Braves 2 out of 3 against the Mets. Just kind of continue their hot stretch. I'll say the Braves take 2 out of 3 here. And then that will do it for my Braves coverage. And I will talk a little bit just kind of MLB. The Phillies are red hot right now. They just swept the Seattle Mariners. And with the Mets and them and the Mets, they have a 9-game lead over the Mets. So I think it's pretty comfortable to say that the Phillies are going to win the NL East. So, and tomorrow, looking ahead towards the weekend, some big series. You will have, again, relatively big, but Braves Mets just because it's always entertaining. And I'll talk about it on on the Royals uh, episode. They will play the Detroit Tigers this weekend, and then you have Houston and Baltimore. I mean, I know Baltimore is completely out of the playoff race, but they have been playing really good baseball lately. They just swept the Boston Red Sox. So Baltimore is a team to look out here down the stretch because they can play spoiler, absolutely play spoiler to a lot of these teams that are in the hunt or have a playoff spot. Yeah, I'm gonna be typical, but I mean, Red Sox Yankees, come on now. In New York, with both teams pretty much kind of clinging right now to a playoff spot, you know the other is licking their chops to try and keep the other out of the playoffs. It's going to be an entertaining series. And then also, we get Padres Dodgers, especially since the Padres have gotten hot. Padres Dodgers round 2. Last weekend, I'll say it was a little bit of a dud only because the Padres got swept out in LA. I mean, 2 of the games were close and were one run losses, but you had to find you had gone on the stretch. The Dodgers were cold. You had actually taken the lead in the NL West, and then you go out and get swept to your hated rival. Yeah, on the road, but I don't know if I would have said that. I mean, I would have said they would have taken that series last weekend, just the way they were playing and the way the Dodgers were playing. But you got to give credit to the Dodgers. They did step up absolutely in a huge series and reminding everyone who they are and that they are the defending champs. But and I kind of hope that they revert back to the Dodgers they have been over the past couple years, and that is flame out in the divisional round. Or I mean, they have made the NLCS a few times and lost. On the Braves 2021, Nationals Nationals 2019, 2019. Pretty sure. They lost Seattle. So if they can go back to that Dodgers of flaming out in the NLDS or even NLCS, I hope so. But this is an absolutely massive series for the Padres. They kind of have to get back this weekend and return favor and sweep the Dodgers in San Diego, or at least take that series. But that's going to be a fun series. Granted, of course, it's with both teams being on the West Coast, that game ain't going to be starting until late here in Central Time. So I'll at least probably start watching the league. I don't know if they'll play night game on Saturday night. Sunday they might be on uh, Sunday Night Baseball. Not sure. I'm just looking at like, okay, they're playing this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that series. But those are the series I'm really. I mean, Cubs gotta be better. They're playing the Angels. They're The Brewers have a now 8 game because the Cubs just took 3 out of 4 from the Brewers in an absolutely massive series. So they need to keep fighting. I mean, then you got Cleveland and Texas fighting. Both are on the outside looking, on the outside of the of a playoff spot. So they're gonna, both are looking. Toronto just looking to keep their division lead. They'll play Miami. Like I said, Boston, New York. Philly plays Washington, so they're just, you know, trying to salt away the division crown. And since obviously I'm starting this podcast towards the end of the season, and other than when I like just made predictions with friends, but I'm just gonna make some predictions. Uh, I'm not guess predictions. I mean, at this point, we kind of know who's going to the playoffs, who's winning the division for the most part. Uh, I will start NL, Phillies East. Pretty sure it's Cubs beginning of the year. So I don't want to like semi Benedict, but man, the way the Brewers are playing right now, I think I might go Brewers. I'll say Brewers win the Central, and then I'll say Dodgers. And I hate saying that because I do think, because like looking at the Padres, they are capable, but again, it's just the last time they'll play. So if the Padres are going to win, you got to take this series, if not sweep, and then hope the Dodgers falter a little bit and you get hot for a week stretch, and then hope that holds on to win the division. Then wild cards, it's pretty much set. Cubs, Padres, Mets. I don't see the Reds making it. And that's literally what the standings are right now. That's like who is holding a playoff spot right now in the National League. I'm just going to say they hold on to it. Now, American League, I'll say Toronto holds on, wins the East. Detroit's going to win the Central, barring a historic collapse, and don't think that's going to happen. I'll say Detroit, and I'll say Seattle wins the West. Even though Houston's in first right now, I'm going to say Seattle wins the West. Wild card. Houston, Boston. I'm going to say Kansas City. And not to be Homer, but I'm going to say Kansas City will make the playoffs back-to-back years, which means New York's going to fall out. I'm going to say New York misses the playoffs. So that's my rest of season MLB predictions. Looking forward to the playoffs here once we really know. Right now, it's like, again, can safely assume, especially on the National League side, he's going to get in. American League is a little bit more wide open. I would say the East and Central divisions are kind of on lock. It's going to be Detroit and Toronto. It's going to be an interesting battle between Houston and Seattle down this last month and well, not even month and a half, month and a week. So, and then the wild card is going to be interesting because, well, with the Royals losing tonight, but they're 3.5 or 2.5 back. So Cleveland's right there. And then with Boston, Seattle, and Yankees holding spots, and it's Royals and because Texas is falling off. It looks like they're not going to be really in the mix in September. So it's just going to be the Royals and Indians battling it out for that last wild card spot with Boston, Seattle, and New York. So it's going to be fun last month. We'll just see if the Braves. I just want to see them play for pride, find a way to finish third, and watch Hurston Waldrip just have a nice last month of the season and be a bright spot for next year's team. So, with that, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe and drop a comment below. I hope you all have a great Wednesday night or whenever you watch this. If you don't watch it until Thursday morning, either way, hope you have a great day.